Hey, it's me, Bria. Welcome back to the channel for another quick helpful voice tip video. Quick little disclaimer, I'm not a trained speech therapist. I'm not a trained medical professional. So if you do this training, please know that it is under your own risk. Don't overdo it. Don't train for more than an hour at a time. If you notice any pain or discomfort in your throat, say, hold off. Stop doing it after a while there, right? Not after a while. Stop doing it right away. If you're feeling pain and discomfort, listen to your body, consult a doctor if pain and discomfort continues. And by watching this segment right here on this YouTube video, you are signing a legally binding document that says you will not sue Bria if you hurt yourself from doing too much voice training, even though she told you not to do too much voice training. Okay? Okay. So I always have this problem in teaching voice lessons to people. I'll have a student, they're doing great. They understand the techniques. They understand the pinchy. They understand the breathy. They're kind of on the home stretch, but they're having trouble putting it all together, doing the blending between the pinchy and the breathy. And 9 times out of 10, the real problem they're running into is they don't have their ability level on those two techniques up to snuff. They're not getting high enough pitch, folks. I know. We say pitch isn't everything, right? If we go up here, you're talking really high, but you're in your falsetto, and that's not really a voice. Nobody would like it if you were talking like this. You'd sound like Minnie Mouse. So obviously pitch isn't everything. It's about the resonance. It's about understanding the kind of softer side and the tighter, pinchier side and putting those two together. Yeah, but if you can't do either of those two on a high enough level at a high enough pitch, it's not going to sound right. It's not going to sound all pretty and angelic. It's not going to sound like how 9 out of 10 voice students want their voices to sound, which is kind of like a cis passing, high pitch, feminine, pretty voice. Okay. So you want to get there? Well, you're going to have to raise your pitch. You're going to have to learn how to increase the amount of pitch you have both on the pinchy and on the breathy. Here's how you do it. So what we need to focus on is raising both your maximum pitch, that is the highest pitch that you can reach, and your average pitch, that is just the average pitch that you tend to speak at and you tend to be around that area. Feminine voices tend to go up and down in the sing-songy voice modulation way. We'll talk about that in another video. It is an important piece of this. But for now, we got to focus on the baseline and the maximum. Neither one is more important than the other. Your maximum pitch, if you raise your maximum pitch, that will make it easier for you to have a higher average pitch because you've done way higher. This should feel a whole lot easier to you now. And vice versa, if you raise your average pitch, it'll make it a whole lot easier to have a higher maximum pitch because you're so used to being at kind of a baseline level that's already a little higher than you were before. So you should be able to theoretically go even higher from there. Yeah? Okay. So keeping these two goals in mind, we want to raise both the average and the maximum pitch. I recommend structuring your workouts and your overall training cycle. So both the mini and the macro. The mini is within the workout. The macro is your training program of workouts. You should be thinking about reaching a peak. That is a maximum high point that is somewhere perhaps higher than you've ever been before, a new personal best. Reach that point and then grind, work hard. You've got to make it normal for you. We got to make it easy for you to be at a high level. You reach somewhere new, like say somewhere you've never been before, and then you can try and maintain it for a while, but chances are you're not going to be able to maintain it for very long. Go down a couple steps. Go down to 70, 80% of what this new peak was that you reached, and then do that for sets of 5, 10, whatever feels like you're kind of getting a bit of a workout in your throat to challenge that pitch and make it normal for you. Yeah? I recommend challenging scales on everything, any exercise you can think of, any exercise that I show you in any of these videos, anything that you do in your voice training that I have not done with you, that you learned it from somewhere else, do scales on it. Go ha, 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 reach that point, that high point, and then work on maintaining that, or go down a couple steps and maintain that. As you raise your pitch on any given scale, I find it helps to not so much think about going higher in pitch as it does to think about it going up your body, physically moving up the throat, into the mouth, and into the nose. I talk about this in lots of other videos. You can learn about that in more detail elsewhere. Challenging scales helps you get up to a higher point than you've ever been before. You'll be able to challenge your maximum, as well as have a clear-cut idea of like step by step where to go. I was talking about, 70, 80% of what you were doing. Say you went up 10 points on a scale to a brand new personal best you've ever done, right? Well, if point 10 was the highest, you just go back down to point 7, 3 ha's down, and now you're at 70% of where you just were. Try doing that for 10 times in a row. Yeah? That kind of grinding of, say, doing 10 of something that's still kind of challenging for you is going to build strength, and it's going to build stamina, which is going to make it seem easier for you to be up at that level, which will raise both your maximum and your average pitch. In addition to doing, say, lengthy sets of 10 repetitions of a note, you can hold each note for slightly longer than you normally would. Till you run out of breath. Holding it for longer will train that stamina. It's going to make it seem easier for you to be making that sound because you can hold that sound for so long. Moving a weight in front of you is great exercise, but holding that weight in front of you is a whole lot harder. It's going to train this kind of holding strength that, I'm not going to get into all the different types of strength, but it is useful. It is a challenge. It is a new way of training, a new thing you can focus on that will help you. If stamina is also of a concern for you, it can have an effect on all sorts of different aspects of voice, but as well as improving this pitch, speak sentences for longer. Okay, you've moved on from doing basic sounds and you want to speak words and sentences. You're at that phase of the training. Speak for longer. Speak longer sentences. Read longer paragraphs at that high pitch. Do a scale. Ha 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 ha. Get up somewhere high. And then read a sentence at that level. Read a paragraph at that level. It'll make it easier for you to be working at that level for a long period of time. Yeah? When you are doing any of these exercises, any sound, any word, any syllable, any aspect of your training that, say, you're challenging the pitch on and trying to get better at, if you notice that you aren't doing as well at it, you're not able to go as high on it, it doesn't sound quite as nice when you go high on it, hammer on that weak spot. Find the weak spot and hit. Don't stop hitting it. If you're, say, speaking a sentence, the birch canoe slid on the smooth planks. Often planks is a hard one for me. Planks is not the best one. For whatever reason, that ank sound is hard to make sound pretty. So I will go planks, 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 planks. The birch canoe slid on the smooth planks. Now my planks, I don't know if it sounded better there, but that's what I do. It helps. Figure out whatever sound. You make a sound, you didn't like it, do it more. Don't do it less. Don't be one of those artists on Tumblr that avoids drawing hands because they're not good at drawing hands. Draw more hands. Do more of the sound that is not good for you. Do more of the sound that you are not able to go high on, okay? Don't avoid the weak spots. Hit them harder. And remember, all this stuff I'm talking about, do it in both breathy and creaky. So if you're doing a scale and you're reading a sentence, do that scale in breathy and read that sentence in breathy. Then go back, do that scale in creaky, read that sentence in creaky. Yeah? You can do it with creaky door. You're You can do a scale there. You can read a sentence in creaky door. The birch canoe slid on the smooth planks. That kind of dynamic tightening, you're going up the throat, into the mouth, and into the nose. That is going to give you that nice squeak that's going to help you get those high notes. And so in challenging the pitch on that, as well as doing that in different sounds, different words, different vocal situations, you're going to be better able to squeeze out those nice high notes in different situations. So you're going to have to get used to doing that. And if you can do that on any given word, if you can do a nice high creaky door on any given word in a sentence, you can have a nice voice doing just about anything. And remember, it's not going to be work forever. Even though we're having to do all this stuff and you're trying to push your limits and, sound higher pitch than you're used to sounding, the key is to do it a lot and to make it easy for yourself by getting used to doing it. So it's not going to be work forever if you keep doing it. Eventually, like going for a jog every day, you get that cardiovascular level up and it doesn't feel so hard to jog. Whereas if you never run, you're going to get winded going upstairs. Yeah? So nature is as nature does, and it's going to become natural for you if you just keep doing it. But in addition to that, you're going to have to learn how to improve your pitch when you whisper. A lot of times when we're raising our pitch, you tend to get a lot louder. You're working so hard. You're trying to go higher in pitch and it's just not quite there. So you go louder. You're pushing with your abdomen more. You're working more in here. And you don't really want to be doing that, right? You can't be loud all the time. People are going to think you're weird, which is, probably a given anyways, chances are, if you're a fan of mine. I think birds of a feather flock together and people think I'm weird, but they don't think I'm weird because I'm loud. Not all the time. Not unless I want them to, or I've just forgotten where I am and I got really excited about a bird I saw. But, just work on whispering. If you can raise your pitch when you are whispering, not only will it teach you to not be getting louder as you get higher in pitch, but it's going to you're developing that raw technique. When we go louder, that's kind of like using brute strength to get through something. And there's a time and a place for brute strength. Sometimes it's what we need. Sometimes you got to give yourself a little to get up, sitting from the couch or whatever, right? But we can't do that all the time. Sometimes you want to be able to just do it pure. You can stand up like a vampire in a Chinese movie. They're stiff as a board and they hop around and they don't seem to have to need any momentum at all. It's kind of defying physics, frankly. They must have incredible core strength. And you're going to have that core strength too. Well, vocal core strength by doing whisper training. Go up to your mic and do a little whisper and go, ha, 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 ha. You're going to learn how to get higher without getting louder, which is what you want. And of course, as I said at the beginning of the video, pitch isn't everything. It's not the end all be all. There's a lot of aspects to voice, that those different kinds of resonances, the softer side, the tighter side, as well as like, who are you as a person? What are you trying to convey in that situation? How are you varying your voice? Feminine voices tend to, go up and down and move all around and do that sing-song stuff that I talked about earlier too. And we'll talk about that in another video, probably the next video. We'll talk about how to vary your voice, because it's not just, if I was always up here talking in my loudest, I would sound kind of weird, wouldn't I? So no, we don't go high all the time. We go up and down, and sometimes you're down here because it's funnier that way, right? You get to learn how to do that stuff too. But if you focus on doing scales, holding that for a long time, and reaching it, a high point, and maintaining it throughout the workout afterwards, then you're going to be doing great. You're going to improve your pitch. And, then the techniques that you're doing, all that blending, all the speech stuff, the more advanced speech stuff, it's going to be a whole lot easier, and it's just going to sound a lot prettier. And hey, if you don't want a high-pitched voice, that's fine. A lot of people kind of like talk down here, and it's fine. Like I could talk down here. Some days I'm tired and I just I smoked too much that day. I'm in a crabby mood. And so I'm going to talk down here and use vocal fry. But the reason why I'm able to do this is because I've learned how to go higher. I've learned how to put it up into my nose and keep it out of my chest and generally have a much more defined control over my voice, shifting between the breathier and the tighter, and making it sound how I want it to sound. This is about you making your voice sound the way you want it to. And that means at any given moment, you make it as high or as low pitched as you want it to be. And you are able to just do your daily speech with ease. And if you can do it high pitched, you can do it low pitched, no problem. If you liked the video, please hit that like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button on the channel so you'll know when I make another video. And also, please leave a comment. Not just, you can ask about voice stuff. You can give me a suggestion for something you'd like me to make a video on in the future. But also just you can just leave a nice comment for me. My brain, I'm one of those people whose brain doesn't make enough dopamine. And so it's really nice sometimes to read a nice comment from somebody and get a little bit of dopamine. It's nice. So, maybe just leave me a nice comment and make me feel good, okay? Oh, also, this is not a business. I'm not here to make money, but it does take a lot of time and effort to make these videos. And I'm doing lots of different stuff. I think it's really important to provide voice training resources for free to people. But, I got to eat. I got to pay my rent. So if you want to support what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon, patreon.com/lifeofbria. You sign up for $2 a month. Not only are you helping us out making more content and making more art and all this different stuff that I'm doing, but you can join the Discord channel. You can hang out with me in voice chat. And yeah, I'll happily give you feedback on your voice. I help people out with their voices all the time. So come on down to patreon.com and the Discord also and do that. Or you could send me a little, buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/lifeofbria. One-time donation. It's always nice. Helps me out. Sure thing. And hey, if you find yourself, you're doing voice training, you followed along with the videos, you feel like you're making some progress or, varying degrees of progress, but you're just I don't know, it's not clicking. You're not quite fully getting it. You're worried that you're doing something wrong and it's holding you back from making progress. I do offer voice lessons currently. They're only Thursdays. If you live in North America, we'll do them in the evening. If you live in Europe, we'll do them in the morning. I mean, technically, if you live in North America, we could do it in the morning too, but that's more a time zone thing. I only want to do one lesson a day. So you can send me an email, lifeofbria@gmail.com. I'll schedule you for your lesson. But for real, you should try to do it on your own first. I'm not here to try and farm students. I'm not here to try to get more business doing lessons or whatever. I want to help people. And if you are coming to me for a lesson and you haven't been training, that's not really doing you a service because your main benefit is going to be coming from doing training rather than just relying on lessons from me. But also there's other people that might need to get lessons. There's a lot of people ask me for lessons all the time. So right now at this point, I'd like to prioritize people that are really in a bind, really having a hard time with voice, and they're struggling with the material. So that was a long-winded way of saying I do voice lessons. You can send me an email about it too. So until next time, be good and keep training and don't stop believing in yourself.